Hi guys, Mrs. Becker here. I'm going to read one of my very favorite stories. It's called Caps for Sale by Esper Sobakina. It's a tale of a peddler and some monkeys and their monkey business. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had his own cap, a checkered cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up and down the street, and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town. Slowly, slowly, not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," he thought, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First, his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very, very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in the back of him, no caps, and he looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler very angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both feet and said, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, tss, tss, tss. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and he threw it on the ground and he began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And then all of the gray caps, all of the brown caps, all of the blue caps, and all of the red caps were flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked his caps up, put them back on his head. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then at the very, very top, the red caps. And slowly he walked back to town calling, caps, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. The end. I hope you guys really enjoyed one of my very favorite stories.